The train, for its type, is the most powerful vehicle on land. And the engines of Sodor are the power behind the docks, industries and branch lines that make up the world-renowned Northwestern Railway. These are the stories of Sodor. Something I forgot to mention in my last batch of stories was that following the Great Storm of '63, construction began on a road bridge to the mainland, and by an extraordinary stroke of bad luck, it was completed the day of Jeffrey's crash. Many of our passengers looking to reach the mainland chose to drive or take the bus in order to avoid delays. Even after the line was cleared, a good portion didn't come back. Our freight services also took a hit as the island was invaded by an army of lorries. And I'm sorry to say, not all of us took this downturn in stride. Stupid nonsense. What is? The foreman just told me this train's been cancelled. The client has decided to go with them. I wouldn't have brought these vans over if I'd have known. I'd have had a breakdown or something. Too bad you didn't. I'd be able to do my work in peace. Bug off, Onslow. With an attitude like that, it's no wonder the client has gone elsewhere. It's got nothing to do with attitude. They're only using you because you're cheaper. What's your point? Now if you'll excuse me, I have work to do. Git. What's worse is his lot are actually doing us a favor. Did you know we lose money on most of our goods trains? No, I didn't. Who told you that? My driver, a friend of his, works at Control. He said most of Sodor's freight traffic operates at a loss. It's really only the bulk items like oil, coal and lumber that do well. Then why do we handle anything else? Contractual obligations, many of which have expired recently. Since they weren't renewed, Control has been able to streamline operations, which is proving to be a terrific economy. It's rather bizarre how doing less work is making us more money. I'm sure the same can't be said for our passenger trains. You're right about that. We're down to using a single coach for most services. If the numbers get any lower, we might start using Toad, which we probably will. Have you seen the new double-decker they brought in? What's that pile of driftwood doing here? Driftwood? Pile of driftwood? That's right. No wonder people aren't travelling by rail. You belong in a museum. I may be old, but I'm still useful. As what, a hen house? Go turn yourself into the scrapyard, love. You passed it. Don't talk to her like that. Defending your lady love. How sweet. All right, what's going on here? You causing trouble again, Polgy? I told you to stop calling me that. I will when you stop giving them grief. Pah! I shouldn't be surprised a relic like you is standing up for them. Where do you get off calling me a relic? Pipsqueaks like you were alright back in the day, but now you're too small in size to be of any use. That's why they brought in big, strong lads like me. With an attitude like that, your career will definitely be a short one, but longer than yours. One day, railways will be ripped up. Don't believe me? Go check out George's handiwork. This might be a good time to talk about the other developments on Sodor. In my story about beaching, you may recall how the good doctor closed down several facilities. By this point, most had been decommissioned and auctioned off. These properties were turned into business or housing estates. George had been involved in several of these projects and revelled in every minute. His latest one involved working along the Little Western, which posed a unique set of problems. Hello, Ollie. Like what I've done with the place? Can you call the police, Sam? Why? Because they missed rounding up some vandals. This isn't vandalism, it's progress. There's been a lot of it these past few years. Now that the bridge is done, I imagine there'll be a lot more to come. In your dreams. I'm living the dream, mate. I'm turning no good railways into something useful. God bless Dr. Beeching. That might be the second most offensive phrase I've ever heard. And what was the first? Heil Hitler. Now that I think about it, he and the good doctor had a lot in common. Both had a single-minded vision that caused a lot of pain and suffering, and both had mindless fools supporting them. I don't have to listen to this. I have work to... Uh-oh. You great clumsy road hog. That was your fault. No, it wasn't. It was yours. I'm sorry, but how was it his fault? He distracted me. He basically called me a Nazi. That hurt almost as much as the time he ran into me. When was that? Back when I helped build this branch. I had to grade the line. It was very humiliating. Me and Oliver were at a job site one day. We got into a tiff while I was crossing the track. He lashed out by running into me. Rubbish! You deliberately blocked his way. How do you know? Because I was there. You cut him off and refused to move, and he didn't run into you. He barely tapped you. It must have been a hard tap because I broke down the next day. He and Duck laughed at me when that happened. The swine. With brutes like that in their ranks, it's no wonder people are avoiding the railway. Not everyone. There's been a change in the schedule, Bulgy. Tomorrow, you and me will be bringing a load of rail fans to Tidmouth. What? Can't you manage that on your own? No, I can't. There's too many. Oh? Sounds like you're too small in size to handle the job on your own. Wouldn't you agree? Oh, if it gets you to behave, fine, I'll agree. Dispatch will give you the details in the morning. Good night. Rail fans. Why do people waste their time looking at those antiques instead of modern wonders like us? Search me. Too bad there isn't a way we can spoil their fun. Oi, get off the track! What do you think I'm trying to do? Looks like you're just sitting there. What's the problem? I felt a sharp jolt while crossing and my engine stalled. Don't you know you're supposed to keep these things in good nick? We've a case against you. There's nothing wrong with the track. This is deliberate. And that's slander. I'm a witness. Pah. How are we doing, Sam? On time. That's what makes it so criminal. I'll give you one more minute and I'll shift you myself. Good luck with that, old man. I'm full of rocks. Nope, it's no use. Can't you push him out the way? I could, but it's funnier if I don't. Fine, I'll move him. You can't do that, can't I? We'll have the law on you. What's your point? Stop him! You're insured, aren't you? All right. I'll move him. Suffering stacks. Fizzling fireboxes, hurry up! Oi! I'll do you for that! Roll on, me old beauty! All aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Why, you mean scarlet deceiver! I know you had something to do with this. The only thing I'm guilty of is doing my job. You should try it sometime. Don't worry, I'll get them to Waterton faster than you ever could. Rubbish! It's much further by road. Yes, but I know a secret shortcut. What secret shortcut? I guess you don't know the meaning of the word secret. Is that why they call you Duck? Because you're a bird brain? Ooh! Well, the Brothers Grimm smashed, scuppered, and squished. So that was your shortcut? Must have been a real secret if you didn't know it wasn't big enough. I thought I'd fit. Looks like you were wrong. I guess being small in size isn't such a bad thing after all. Wouldn't you agree, Rupert? Urgh. Several heads rolled that day, let me tell you. Oliver and George were severely reprimanded for their duel, but only the latter was sent away. It seems that was the last straw for the Steamrollers managers. He would spend the rest of his days building motorways across Britain. Bulgy was also sent packing, as people avoided him like the plague. I don't know what happened to him, but I like to think he's a henhouse now. In such a state, he can surely do no harm. As for Onslow, I'm pleased to say he learned sense. He still works on Sodor and is a much kinder chap who's willing to work alongside us when necessary. Even though his company did take a lot of our goods work, the changing nature of the industry meant we would recover on that front, and in a very big way. Our passenger traffic would also recuperate thanks in large part to the bridge. More people were now able to visit the island much easier. Since most of them were rail fans, they flocked towards us. From that point on, every excursion we ran was fully booked. Indeed, we had to put on extra trains to keep up with demand. Unfortunately, there was a downside to the increased presence of rail enthusiasts, but that is a story for another day.